Well, hello again. Welcome back to the Right Report. Today, I am joined by one of the homies, one of my dogs, one of my brothers from another
One of the
mother,
OGs.
Desmond William Ewell. What is good, young sir?
Hey man, don't be put my government out there. You know I got warrants. What's wrong with you, boy?
Hey man,
Hey man, we got 2/3 of the student section back together for this one, man. We got to get in here with Tevin one time, man. You know that.
I'm gonna get Tevin in here. I'm gonna call Aubrey. We're gonna have this whole thing
It's
jumping.
coming, bro. It's coming. It's coming. It's a start though.
It's already up here. It's already up here. All right. So today's episode, we're gonna hit on a few things. Of course, Mr. Money Mahomes. He just got his big deal. We're gonna talk about that, what that means for the NFL. We're gonna talk about the NBA restarts coming up really quickly, and we'll hit on a little bit of baseball before we get out of here. And I got some sad news, especially for my fellow Texans, especially for my fellow Dallas people. It's gonna piss us off, and I know it hurts me as much as it hurts y'all, but we'll get to that at the end. But before we get started, Dave, you want to say anything?
You said, do I want to say anything?
Yeah, you got anything you want to say to my people, man? You know, my church people.
Yeah, man. I'm glad to be back on the mic with you. One and two. Cam Newton getting paid way too little. But anyway, it's a different show, different conversation for a different show.
All right, talk about it. All right, well, if no more, let's get it started, brother.
Let's go. Hey, I'm right here with you, baby. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Salud.
So I just feel like I have to say this. This segment is sponsored by the Brinks truck that Pat Mahomes is going to have to his house every other day. This man's got a 10-year extension on top of the 2 years he has left on his rookie deal, worth $500,000. Richest deal in North American sports history, so suck it, football players. One of the best things I like about this deal, his money is guaranteed 2 years out. So when it kicks in,
guaranteed.
It's guaranteed. So third day of the league year, 2023, 2025's money is guaranteed, and so on and so forth. What were your thoughts on it when you first saw it?
Baseball contract.
Yeah.
Off top. Yeah. Baseball contract. I saw that, and you know me. I'm a baseball guy. I played baseball growing up. I always thought my goal was to make, at the time growing up, $100 million over 2 years. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
That's unheard of. You talking some of the best ball players, man. Best baseball players aren't making this type of money.
Nah, not at all.
My contract. It's not the same. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro. Mike Trout is making $426.5 million.
Yeah.
Over a similar span.
Yeah.
80? How many baseball games did 180? 162, excuse me. 82 is basketball. 162 baseball.
Yeah.
Yo, we paying first of all, I'm gonna just say it like this too. A black quarterback.
Absolutely.
When you remember growing up, what people say, I don't trust a black quarterback.
They can't do it. They can't get it done.
Donovan McNair made it the furthest and couldn't finish.
Yeah, exactly.
McNair made it to the end. He got short of the goal line.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't trust black quarterbacks. I need a Steve Young. I need a whoever. I need a Brady. I need a Peyton.
Give me Joe.
Cam Newton got there. 15-1. One of the best seasons in football history. Couldn't finish.
Exactly. Mike Vick was one of the coldest ever. And Vic, granted, that was off the field stuff. But
but he did what all the white people thought black quarterbacks would do anyway.
Exactly.
Let's just be real. Hey, we got to drink. We drinking today. We're going to be real about it. We're going to be real about it now.
I think it's crazy because, you look at the specifics of it, and it's only $140 million actually guaranteed. But if you look at $140 million guaranteed, that's blowing everything else out of the water. Jared Goff got paid, and we were like, oh, my God. Jared Goff just got absolutely paid. He got getting north of $100 million. And it's just like, $100 million, man, that's 2 years of my salary, bro.
No, I want to make one comparison. I want people to understand. That number is insane for Mahomes. Insane. Don't get me wrong. And he's going to earn that money, barring some crazy injury, which he still makes $141 million if he gets injured.
Exactly.
Understand something. Jared Goff,
trash.
The best quarterback in the league.
Trash.
$110 million guaranteed on a $134 million contract in 4 years.
Exactly.
Mahomes get that if he get hurt.
Exactly. And again,
Black quarterback.
Again, he gets that 2 years out. So he could get hurt the first year of that extension and still get paid for 2 more years. So he's set. He's set.
He's set. He's set.
So the thing about that, and you mentioned it, we talked about the black quarterbacks. There's 3 of them that are due for paydays real soon.
Yep.
Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson.
Jackson.
Now, don't get me wrong, but everybody who knows me knows I love my Cowboys, and I want.
Right.
I'm not saying Dak deserves $50 or $40 million a year. I'd like to see him make 37.5, and I'd be happy. But that's his money. He wants to. But you can't say. But you got to understand though. When those 3 people saw what happened the other day, they were like chops. Like, all right, look. I didn't just win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Damn close.
Right.
Dak and his team should be getting pretty damn close.
Right.
If he's a better coach / GM, he's getting pretty damn close. Now, granted, they just traded DeAndre Hopkins, but that's another subject.
That's a whole other conversation. But hey, if you just trade D-Hop, that means I need more money because now I got to put more on my back.
Exactly. So all 3
more got to be on my back now. I don't have no help.
Exactly. All 3 of them looking at the agents like, all right, look. I don't need that much, but let's go ahead and give me about 37 to 40 million a year, and I think we good. First step.
If I'm a black quarterback in the NFL right now, who's my agent? Don't matter. That's my agent now. I need Mahomes' agent.
Exactly.
I need Mahomes' agent because that's crazy. That's crazy. Tom Brady didn't make that money. Brady got 5 of them.
Exactly. 6.
I'm sorry, 6. Brady got 6 of them.
I know you don't.
Brady got 6 of them. Brady went down to Florida to retire.
Exactly.
I need that. Brady ain't got that type of money, bro. Brady 42 years old, still trying to get his money. Are you serious?
Hey,
Uggs paying him more than the NFL paying him.
Exactly.
Crazy.
But
crazy.
Speaking of, the narrative, the thought process. Of course, the owners throw this around all the time. Teams don't win when they got quarterbacks on big contracts. That's the narrative. Russell Wilson won on his rookie contract. Pat Mahomes won on his rookie contract. So on. Everybody wins when they're only 2% of the salary cap. Then they get paid. And they don't do anything. Does that change? Because I feel like with Mahomes, he has the potential to make it different. The salary cap's gonna be up again by the time he starts getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes for him. That goes for Russell Wilson. That goes for anybody else we've mentioned. By the time they actually start getting paid, minus Dak just being on that on the franchise tag, which is probably gonna happen this year.
Mm-hmm.
Does that narrative change? And that's a real question because don't get me wrong, I saw this and I was like, "Yo, Pat, good job, get your money." But then I'm like, man, Pat, I hope your front office knows what they doing.
And what's funny is Pat went on to say how he was glad his contract was team friendly and
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, that's team. But what people are forgetting, this is over a 10-year span.
Exactly.
This isn't because again, we've seen crazy numbers before, but it's over a 4 to 5 year span. This is 10 years. So as crazy as it sounds, they can build around it because you're talking. I'm looking at and this is raw data. Again, this isn't official numbers, but give or take, based off the information we have, his biggest base salary is $38 million in 2031. So he's making 1.8 post to 2 rookie contract years, 1.5, 5.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. 2027 jumps up to 10, 13, 2027, 38. By then, he should have had at least 2 more Super Bowls anyway.
He should.
And I'm a big Andy Reid fan. We haven't talked about this. I love Andy Reid. I do. What he did back with Philly back in the day, what he did last year. Andy Reid went back to back NFC championships.
Yeah.
The coach is there.
No,
And he revamped his offense. He changed it around, rebuilt a new team in Kansas City, and showed he can do it again. Yeah. And now you got the quarterback of the future, and he did it in a way that you can, or the team did it in a way where you can structure money around this to add pieces. Now, you're not going to get an Aaron Donald out of it.
Nah.
You're not going to get an Aaron Donald, you know what I mean? But you can get something that can, you know what I'm saying, make something work out of it.
I think my whole thought behind it is, and not to compare apples and oranges because this is about to be a huge apples and oranges comparison, but Brady. Brady never took the 25, $30 million contract when that was outrageous. Now, granted, he had Giselle, so he ain't need all the money in the world.
Yeah. We're living good either way.
Exactly. He was
right.
But even beside that,
and it was a Big Sean. My girl made more money than I do. So
he did exactly.
Right.
Even then, even if he didn't have that, he still wasn't taking the huge astronomical 25% of the salary cap money.
Right.
Got him. There was that lull for maybe like 10 years, but they were still in the Super Bowl even though they lost both of those. Right. So it was a thought in my head, which was quickly again replaced by go black quarterback, go get your money and show everybody that times have changed and this is the way the league is gonna go. And and I previously mentioned him, gotta give thanks to people like Michael Vick, his contemporaries like Cam Newton, Dak, Deshaun, Lamar. They're showing that this might not be the only way to play quarterback because I do think there's still a place in the league for the pocket passer, i.e. the time.
Right. Well, obviously, because Mahomes is a pocket passer. Let's be real. Mahomes is a pocket. He can extend.
Yeah.
Which is what Aaron Rodgers does.
Yeah.
He can extend, but he is a pocket passer. He runs when he has to. He ain't looking to run.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. And I think that was the biggest knock on Lamar Jackson. It's like, well, I know he can pass, but let's see what he can do at receiver and running back. And I'm glad to see stuff like this because it's changed that narrative where you can pay that quarterback the big amount of money. I hope it pays off. I really do. Outside of if they play the Cowboys, I hope it pays off.
Right.
What I don't want to see is he gets his money and he flops. Or he gets his money and goes out and does something stupid, which he's shown obviously no indication of being that type of person. But what I don't want to see is he gets it and he flops, and then now we're stuck at ground one again, i.e. after the Michael Vick situation happens where he's doing all this and then something happens.
It's a record contract and it gets in trouble. And
exactly.
All I'm going to say on that, we look at all the white quarterbacks. We look at the Aaron Rodgers, and we all love Aaron Rodgers. We all love how great Aaron Rodgers is. Well, not you. As a Cowboys fan, you definitely don't. But you respect his gangster, whether you like him or not. Whether you like him or not, you respect the OG in him. Come on now. That sound like, come on, the sound like it? That's crazy, dog.
It still hurts me, man.
Crazy.
I see the beginning of that clip, and I'm like, I know exactly what play this is. I remember being in that game. Y'all were there, and y'all saw me almost start crying when he completed that.
I'm pretty sure you about to kick everybody out the house.
I almost did. Everybody.
But my point is, we look at all these great white quarterbacks, whoever they may be, the Rodgers, the whoever, the Ben Roethlisbergers, they got their one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then they get an even bigger contract.
Mm-hmm.
A-Rod ain't won Super Bowl since.
Yeah, you're right.
I ain't seen Ben win one.
Hey, I'm gonna give you the modern one to trump all of them. Mr. Joe Flacco. Hey, Joe Flacco won that Super Bowl in 2013, got his big money.
And praying for a backup spot.
And praying for a backup spot.
And let's now, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, Flacco went crazy in the playoffs that year. Flacco had like 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. Like, don't get me wrong, he went stupid.
He did.
But that money went no.
Man, look.
So there's a long list of white quarterbacks who get that leeway with, oh, we still talking about how great Ben Roethlisberger is. Phillip Rivers ain't never won a Super Bowl.
That's
right. Phillip Rivers. Oh, no, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
So if Mahomes don't win another Super Bowl again, my man.
But let's not completely disrespect Phillip Rivers. To be fair, he had Peyton Manning and Tom Brady in the same conference every year. He might have made a Super Bowl if they weren't there.
But if Jameis Winston was white, he'd be Phillip Rivers. Don't make me pull up the touchdown interception stats now. If Phillip Rivers was white, I mean, if Winston was white, if Phillip Rivers was like crab legs, they'd be the same person. I'm trying to tell you.
I gave you the point. Don't stretch it. All right. And before we get off the Patrick Mahomes subject, I just want to put out the you work for ESPN, so obviously you know the crazy way the story came out. I thought it was amazing when I actually heard what happened. Katie Camlin, a freaking work at a liquor store, just working. People came in with their Chief stuff on, be like, "Hey, yeah, we need 6 bottles of Dom, please." And you're like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "Well, we got a big signing. It wasn't Chris Jones." She tweets it out. I find it funny that she got scared and took it down because she didn't want people to lose their job.
Right.
And then she tweets out. And then 2 hours later, Adam Schefter's like, "Oh snap! Pat Mahomes, 10 years, $503 million."
Right.
Of course,
right.
She comes out with the line of the other day. Holy crap! I beat Schefter, which is something I want to say in my career. Is that I beat Adam Schefter.
I'm gonna say right now, I work at ESPN. I see Schefter all the time. Especially doing football, I see him all the time. Ain't nobody being Shefty.
Yeah, exactly.
That's impossible. Him? Hey, Shefty? I'm saying right now. Yeah. No.
And he's the guy.
No. And that's them boys. Hey, I swear, they be on the phone like this, bro. Yeah. I swear.
Because it's like you see him on NFL Live and stuff, and he's.
Yeah, it's legit. It's real.
Just seen this man.
It's real.
Like, hey,
it's real.
Call real quick. So, like, between him, Woj, and Jeff Pascal for MLB.
Hey, Woj? No. Woj be over here, bro. I'm telling you. Woj. I'm not even trying to throw in the ESPN anchor right now. But Twitter. If you don't follow, if Woj ain't on your Twitter favorites, make that happen. I'm trying to tell you. But yeah, no, I tell you what, man. You look at this Chiefs thing. Honestly, all jokes aside, man, I'm happy to see it because again, for years we heard how black quarterbacks can't do it. Black quarterbacks can't win a Super Bowl. Black quarterbacks can't. And up until now, let's just be real. Most of them failed. You know, we saw McNabb get in there. Yeah. Lost by 3.
Marcus Russell.
Yeah. We saw Russell. You know, we saw Russell Wilson go back-to-back and couldn't finish. And much as a fluke that was, you know, at least he got one. At least he got one. You know, but the thing is, that's an asterisk because that was one of the best defenses we ever seen.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that Legion of Boom was crazy. Yeah. So to see a quarterback, because we all know the Kansas City Chiefs defense was non-existent. Let's just be real.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They was non. So we know who won that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see a black quarterback get it, 1. 2, black quarterback get the appreciation he deserves for winning it. Exactly. 2, and 3, a black quarterback get paid based off what he's done and what he should be doing in the future. Because that's what they paid Brady for. That's what they pay A-Rod for. That's what they pay all these white quarterbacks for. What they're going to do in the Flacco. What's his name? Cousins.
Oh God.
Hey, I got the shirt on. Go Cougs. I got the shirt on. But Case Keenum?
Case Keenum, yeah.
Come on, really?
They all got paid.
Case Keenum?
Hey, man, I ain't gonna talk bad about him. I ain't gonna talk.
Hey, whatever. Hey, I paid for my degree. I'm gonna say what it is. Okay, he should not have got that money. Let's just be real now. I'm just saying, man. You got a black quarterback, former MVP. I don't care nothing about the injuries. He making basically $1 million.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's not okay. If former MVP, 15-1, went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but hey, look, my only thing with that, I want him to get paid as well.
I'm not saying you got to make $15 million a year. I knew his contract was gonna be small. But bro, you can go to the league and make $1 million.
It's true. He got incentives, and he's gonna start over Jarrett Stidham. So if one of those incentives is him starting at least 14 games, he is completely fine.
Remember when Colin Kaepernick got paid a year before Cam did? Yeah. I remember his contract was all incentives.
Yeah.
Ask Cap how much money he got out of that right now.
Yeah.
You know, not knowing everything that was going to go down.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
This is taking a knee, all of that. This is just Kaepernick as a quarterback.
Yeah.
His whole thing was incentive based.
That's true.
How much of that money did he get?
You're right. Well,
so I'm happy to see Mahomes break the bank. I want the Brinks truck. I want all the trucks. Hell, if Pepsi got room, put it on the back of their truck. I don't care.
Before we move on, I'm going to tell you, like I told Ashley the other day, when you talk about Kaepernick and those last couple seasons, don't forget Chip Kelly was his coach. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
Not in the league anymore.
100%.
Just putting that out there.
100%. But when he got paid, he was coming off a great season. He took him to the, 100%. So they should have paid him. And they, incentive based.
Yeah.
Incentive based.
I'm just
Come
saying,
on, bro.
Chip Kelly was his coach. Just putting that out there. On to the NBA. So, players, most of the league that's in Orlando is going to be there. The last couple of players are going to arrive in the next day or so. I've had the thought since kind of about the middle of the layoff that maybe it's not worth it. Maybe we should just like let this ride out and then start it up in October, November. I met pushback from people I talked to. I want your thoughts on that before we keep moving.
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. One more time, I apologize.
I'm saying that I had thoughts that maybe we should just kind of cancel the rest of the season.
Right.
Don't worry about the playoffs.
Right.
October rolls around. Let's start the new season.
So I want to be real with you. When it comes to this, as a sports fan and an employee of the sports world, obviously I want sports.
Absolutely.
Obviously I want sports. Absolutely. Where my paycheck comes from is from sports. So obviously I want it. But when I look at health issues, I look at everything going on. I look at, the rates in Texas are sky high. The rates in Florida are even higher. The rates in, the South are jumping out the gate, and I'm blessed right now to live in Connecticut where we actually have the cleanest rates in America as of right now. Yeah. It's great to be, but it don't mean it's over. Yeah. You know what I mean? You look at all these other countries over the world, and there's second and third waves coming over. Yeah. And we're trying to start sports. I'm not a fan of that. I'm just not. I'm going to be honest with you. And this is me personally, not for my company or for anybody else. Just me. I'm not a fan of that because I think this is real. When I look at the NBA, I know you look at a lot of players who are looking at certain things for doing things bigger than themselves. And, we're going to make sure we donate every check to Black Lives Matter and causes. And I'm all for that. Yeah. 100% I am. We, as Black men, we know we need it in the communities. We know we need it. But at the end of the day, man, I'm not excited to see a bunch of watered-down teams because, the Pacers playing, Oladipo ain't playing. Mm-hmm. The Nets playing, but so-and-so ain't playing. Whoever it be, not happens when, God forbid, but Giannis ends up with a cough. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much that no matter who wins at the end of the day, I mean, I'm a LeBron fan. I love LeBron. Yeah. Let's just say the Lakers win a championship. What does that mean? You played against watered-down teams. Yeah. Your team was missing people. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, Yeah,
and you're right. It's not the same. Obviously, nothing's the same. So, throw it in there with everything else that's happened in the past, 4+ months or, the past year. So, I mean, that's not really going to take away because I do think one of the saving graces is if it does go off, and finish in October, they will have played a full playoffs. Teams maybe they tricked it up a little bit to make sure Zion had a chance to be there. But, there's this full 16-team playoffs and all that stuff. So they're playing it out. It's not like we're just giving a champion. So I won't take that away from them. But like you said, there's people that won't be there. I mean, there were teams that were on rolls in the, on good stretches in early to mid-March when everything shut down. And it's like, shut it down for 4.5 months and we'll come back.
Right.
You don't know what's going to happen in those 8 games.
Right. I don't know who's in shape. I don't know who's not. I don't know if the Lakers and the Clippers are just as good as they were beforehand. I don't know if somebody had an injury that was unclosed that came back and it's better. You don't know. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Anybody who wins the championship this year, there's an asterisk next to it. And I'm not talking the Reggie Bush asterisk. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where he won and they took it from him, and that's an asterisk for we know whose Heisman that was, whether he was back.
We saw the tape.
Let's be real. We had a pause in play. People aren't playing. We don't know who's actually on the court, who's not, who's 100% healthy, who's not, who had an injury and came back healthy that wouldn't be even to play if had it been beforehand. It's just so much it's just. Yeah. No, you know what I mean? You have players like in their normal diets. You got players who.
Bro, one of the wildest things to me. One of the wildest things to me was, and it made sense after thinking about it. There are players who may not have put up a shot between March 11th and the time their facilities open, because they might live in a high rise or an apartment or whatever and don't have a goal. Like I think Giannis was one of them. Like doesn't have a basketball goal. I think it was Seth Curry. being funny about it, but like having videos of him putting a goal up because he doesn't have one. Like, and these are players. Giannis is a player that everybody knows. Not to mention those role players.
Exactly. Exactly.
That actually win you the championship, who make $500,000 a year.
That's real.
Damn sure don't have stuff like
that. That's real. That's 100% real, man. That's like I said, I completely respect guys like Jaylen Brown who are coming out saying, "Hey, look, this is bigger than me. I want to." Like I said, the Black Lives Matter. I want to make sure that this is what we do. This is what we can. I get that, bro. But I don't care how many Black Lives Matter if they did.
Yeah.
Or if they sick, or if they, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not that if they find Orlando is going to make everybody sick. It's not. But it's still that's a life at risk.
Yeah. And
for me, man, that's tough for me to sit here in my right mind and say, yeah, I'm cool with that, or yeah, I support that, or yeah, I can't say that.
And I think it also kind of adds to it. One, you look at MLS, they're in the same exact resort area. They had a whole team, pretty much withdraw themselves from that tournament because 10 players had the coronavirus. You look, and coming back to basketball, there are teams who had a player test positive, said, okay, he can't come to the facility, and then the next day they're hopping on a flight to Orlando.
Right.
And granted, they'll get there, they'll have their 2 or 3 days stuck in a hotel room, they can't go anywhere, yada, 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 the rings, all that stuff, this and that. But all it takes is one, because they're going to be distant when they're not on the court or not in those whatever social areas they have. But you've seen the pictures of the courts. Their practice courts are this close together, so there's no way to distance there.
No,
there's no way to distance in a game.
Let me say this now.
I can't set a screen from 6 feet away. It's not gonna happen.
Right now, I work in boxing. Full time right now, and so working in boxing, we as a boxing team, ESPN, whatever, they created the bubble.
Yeah.
And what they call a bubble is same idea as what you hear in the NBA. All right, this is the only floor you can be on. This is the only place you can be.
Yeah.
This is if you leave. But we had a fighter whose dad left the bubble without a mask on and immediately got kicked out.
Yeah.
That couldn't be in. You know what I mean? Like it was a real deal.
Yeah.
So I believe the bubble works. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I believe it's possible because I've seen it. But again, boxing is 2 fighters.
Yeah, and a ref. 3
people in your corner, maybe 4 at most. The judges, the refs, the commission, and a couple cameramen.
Yeah, and the cameraman. Yeah,
and that's it. And the people who are cleaning the. So now you're talking about full team,
15 people,
refs. So that's 30 people off top then.
Yeah,
30 people off top. So we already just beat out the boxing round.
Yeah,
right. 30 people off top. The refs. Cameramen, whoever else they're going to bring in there, the timekeepers, the whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people, man.
Yeah. And
a lot of people. And all it takes is one person to come in there, and now LeBron if LeBron get COVID, NBA shut down for the next 2 weeks. It's over. It's over with.
Yeah. And I'm saying this from a thinking perspective. I'm optimistic. I want to see it work because for a couple reasons. One of them, selfishly, if this can work, then that means we'll have football. That means
football back. Yeah, hey,
I'm gonna just
see what Teddy Bridgewater do. I gotta see what Teddy Bridgewater do. I got to. So I feel you.
Exactly, but and I want to see it work. I just want everybody to do what they got to do when they get there, and if everybody can stay in their lanes, make sure they do what they do, then we'll be okay. My biggest thought about it, or X factor, is everybody that's in the bubble is not fully in the bubble because Disney workers aren't staying there every night. They got to go home to their families. Adam Silver is not staying there, for the whole time. He's gonna leave.
But he gonna show his face, So he gonna 100%. And I know they're testing. I know man. These things are just. I don't think it's a perfect world in this, man. It's not a perfect. No matter what you do, that's just a lot of people to be. And again, now we got the TBT tournament going on right now, and so far it's working. Yeah. But I want to see what happens when that TBT tournament ends.
Yeah.
And the bigger news post tournament about so-and-so got sick, so-and-so had to go home, so-and-so. It's a similar idea. We're going to do a bubble. It's just them. You know what I'm saying? It's the same idea. It's the same sport, same people, you know, smaller teams, but still, it's the same idea. So I do want to see that. But as a whole, man, you know, again, I'm hoping it works out.
I am
as a sports fan, I hope everybody's safe. I hope everything. But I if you ask me my personal opinion, you know, I'm not holding my breath. I'm not.
And one last quick thing. So 10 years ago today, as of the recording of this, LeBron James had his famous decision.
The thing you hate more than anything else.
Huh?
I said the thing you hate more than anything else.
No. Hold on. Let me get to that.
Did you come on?
He announced he was taking his talents to South Beach. I'm gonna go first on this one. I didn't hate him. I don't hate him going to Miami. That was a business move. That was a smart move. Can't be mad at him. He wasn't going to win a chip in Cleveland, obviously. I hated the way he did it, and he said he regrets the way he did it. Granted, he raised all the money for the Boys and Girls Club. I'm never going to be against charity because I'm not a jerk like that. But I will say, my thought has always been, if you're going to go somewhere, the best way to do it is for you to get an alert on your phone. LeBron James is going to Miami, 4-year deal, yada, yada, yada. Woj. That's all I need to see. We don't need a long, drawn-out, hour-long, episode on SportsCenter. We don't need all the pomp and circumstance. We don't need the not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. We don't all that's not necessary. And I think that's also what led to him.
Right.
He was a villain for at least two or three out of those 4 years. Now, he won that second chip, and I think maybe things kind of changed. But at first, he was a villain, not only in Cleveland, but around the league. He was vilified for the way he did it, and I think rightfully so. Like I said, there are better ways to announce you're leaving, and he chose maybe one of the worst ways to do it.
So what's funny, and I'm not going to lie to you, I found this out actually recently. I didn't even know this. It's public. Plug record. You can Google it, check it. Wasn't even his idea.
No, it wasn't. No, you're right.
There was a fan who basically emailed ESPN. Bill Simmons had a column in ESPN, and a Pistons fan from Columbus, Ohio, said, you know what LeBron should do? He should basically do what the kids do on what is it called when they make the
signing day.
Signing day.
Yeah.
Same idea. Mm-hmm. And it blew up. You know what I mean? Obviously, chose to do it, blew up to what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see all the. My issue with it is not that he did that. My issue is that he did it with somebody he didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
The person interviewing him, he wasn't familiar with.
Yeah.
He wasn't close with. It wasn't like it was Stu Scott.
Or Will Bond or Stephen A. or somebody.
Will Bond, Stephen A. Smith, somebody that, you know what I mean? LeBron wasn't comfortable. He didn't see his answers were very rough and precise. And if you really watch that tape compared to like watch a LeBron interview now, and then watch a LeBron interview for that night, two completely different people.
Yeah, if I say it's a different LeBron.
And I know, you and me have plenty of talks about how you felt like it was the wrong decision, whatever. I don't think it's the wrong decision because, again, we in this generation, and let's even the older generation, have never seen anybody that big free agent. Because, again, our parents didn't see Michael Jordan be a free agent.
Yeah.
Or, and our parents and us never saw Kobe be a free agent.
Yeah.
He asked for a couple of trades, but he never actually went to free agency.
Exactly.
So who's the next big? We've never seen anybody that big, that most sought after. What team didn't want LeBron? Yeah. You can't tell me you was going to miss that.
Yeah, no, okay.
I don't think it was the wrong thing. I think just certain matters of it didn't go the way it should have been. PR didn't do their job and make sure things happen the way it's supposed to.
But so you mentioned that, and I'm glad you did because that was my next point. So moving away from how it happened or how it went down to what actually happened.
Right.
Everybody needs to thank him. Katie needs to thank him. Kyrie needs to thank him. All these big whenever their free agency comes up, Paul George, Kawhi, Chris Paul, all these guys need to thank LeBron for what he did because I feel like it kind of changed the sports landscape. Not even just in basketball. You start to see it, now in other sports, but in basketball in particular because that's where he is. It changed it because, like you said, before that, we didn't see these big name free agents. picking and choosing where they want to go, having a super teams.
Right.
Super team, the original super team was not the 2010 through 2014 Heat. The Celtics had that first.
I'll be trying to tell people it's the Celtics.
But
they still are the most irritating team in basketball history, by the way.
But the thing is, nobody on that big three was LeBron. And I think that's what really changed it. Because when everybody else does something, it's like, okay, everybody else doing what they want to do. But when the king does it, then that changes the perspective. And now it says, oh, wait, biggest moneymaker can do this? It's like the quote, your deepest fear isn't that you're inadequate, it's that you're powerful beyond measure. And when you are doing I'm paraphrasing, but, you start letting your light shine, everybody else feels empowered too.
I saw Coach Carter.
Thank you. Thank you. So it's kind of the same thing where he did it, and it's like, oh, wait, he can do that? Okay, that means I can do it as second-tier player. I can do that as bench player, maybe, with the right circumstances. It kind of said everybody is like, especially those top-name players, like I said, the KDs, the Kyries, the Kawhis, coming out of San Antonio. Now they have that power to say, I don't like being here. I want to go join up with my homies, and we finna win a couple rings.
Right. First of all, people want to get mad at LeBron and say LeBron broke the NBA when he did that. I don't get mad at it. That's a fair statement because we look at KD going to Golden State, and we get stuck with KD, LeBron for the next 2 years at least. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So as great as the Warriors, Cleveland series was 3 or 4 years, Lord, Jesus, I want to see something different. So I understand people say he broke it, but at the end of the day, people try to take control of players try to take control of their own livelihoods beforehand. You look at Chris Paul, who tried to get to LA with Kobe.
Yeah, and the league shut it down.
And the league shuts it down. Yeah. So how can I get mad when the league can tell me I can't live my life in a place that I want to live at? What? So now because I truly be in the NBA, I'm a slave to the system. I got to be stuck in New Orleans where we're losing. Yeah. No one's here. Anthony Davis ain't even thought of yet. And I got David West. That's my best center, David West.
Nobody.
Come on, bro. So I can't be mad at LeBron for saying, you know what? With the power I have in the pool, I'm gonna make something happen. Yeah. And I don't think he was thinking if I do this, everybody else can do it too. But at least I'm gonna do something for me. I'm 2020. Before 2020 went haywire and we all knew it was gonna get crazy. My goal was that I'm no longer apologize for doing what's best for me. I think LeBron decided to be here. I gave this team my years, my time. They refused to give me help. I got to go somewhere else. You look at KD again. I'm not mad at KD for going to the Warriors. He did what was best for him. Now, I think it's a little bit of weak move because they just smacked you.
Yeah.
But as a whole, big picture-wise, I done gave you 10 years. Yeah. Or however long he was in OKC. I done gave you all this time. Why do I have to sit here and sleep because I can't win here? Yeah. In a small market venue. No, I got to go get it.
No, like I said, I'm not mad at what he did. Like I said, my only gripe was how he did it. By all means, go get you a couple rings. Because at the end of the day, that's what the reality of people who watch sports is how we judge you is based on your rings. It's why we look at Tom Brady as the greatest ever because he has 6. It's why we look at, people like Jordan because he has 6. LeBron could have been the greatest player of all time, which he's not. Mm-hmm. Different debate. If he had 0 rings, nobody would care because he didn't win the big one.
Right. And it's funny because you bring up Jordan, who has 6. Mm-hmm. And my argument always when people bring the decision and LeBron, say what you want about whether or not leaving every time Jordan got added another player. You know what I mean? Every time Jordan lost, they added another player.
That's true.
Oh, Jordan won the 3-peat. We still gonna add other players.
Yeah.
So what they say about LeBron, Dan Gilbert, help me.
Yeah.
Nah, we good. You got it.
All right.
You got it.
See you.
So again, Jordan, bro, they went out and just added He's after Steve, bro. Somebody cool. Steve Kerr, don't worry about it. Steve Kerr wasn't the greatest player in the NBA, but he was a good player. Helped the system, and it got better. You can't say that with LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't until LeBron came back and brought his own pieces. Okay, get me Kevin Love. Get me, I'm going to join with Kyrie. Get me, whatever. And then Dellavedova just shows up out of nowhere and plays ball. Like, you know what I mean? Sure. But still, like, it wasn't that way for him. So I hate when people say, okay, well, Kobe never left and LeBron never left. And they added people. Yeah. They added people. They got better. They got way better. Again, Kobe didn't get Chris Paul, but they tried to add Chris Paul.
Yeah.
And, okay, cool. But let's go trade for Paul Gasol. Let's go trade for they added. And Paul Gasol at the time was one of the best power forwards in the game.
Absolutely,
hands down. Yeah. So you can't tell me that these other two great players who were in the conversation with him didn't have help or didn't make moves or whatever. They refused to give LeBron help, so he went to go get it. Yeah. In the conversation with me. Whether he got 6, 3, 2, whatever, he did what he had to do his best. Because if he would have stayed in Cleveland at first when they weren't helping him, we'd be talking about how LeBron is a wonderful player, but he's basically Paul George because he got no rings.
Exactly. And like I said, we judge you based off of what you've done and how many times you can do this in your
how many times you can,
If you don't do
and what really pisses me off is that we do it in certain conversations. Because in that case, I feel like if we're going to do that, we got to do it for Bill Russell. Bill Russell beat everybody.
You're right.
But don't nobody want to talk about it. So nobody want to talk about it. But different conversation for a different show.
Exactly. Thank you. Moving on, because we got a couple things just to hit on. Baseball, looking to start back up. Des, I know you're excited because that means you get to watch your precious Yankees take the field again. But we talk about an asterisk on basketball. I think if there's a sport that deserves one, it's going to be baseball. Strictly because they're not playing everybody. They're playing their division in the same division in the opposite conference, Right. So the Rangers will play the AL West and then the NL West. The Yankees will play the AL East and the NL East. So they're not even playing everybody. They'll have the full playoffs and stuff, but it's a 60-game season. And as much as I would say we don't need 160 games, I would like to see a little bit more this season and that, not the talent pool, but the competition pool for each team to kind of see a little bit more. So I just want to know what your thoughts are on the season coming up and, honestly, what is it going to look like?
So, one, if it happens, again, just like the NBA, I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah. When I actually see them play the season now, I'll believe it. I'm just being honest with you. But if it does happen, one, I'm kind of excited for the shorter season. I think, and I was on this earlier, I'm doing it myself. I think one of the most exciting seasons we ever saw in the NBA is when they started on Christmas. You remember that season?
66 games, yeah, after the lockout. Yeah.
Yo, every game mattered. I love that. That season was so much fun because if you lost game 1, you was behind.
Yeah.
You was behind. You know what I mean? That mattered. I remember one year the Red Sox started out, and don't quote me on this, but I want to say 0-11. Mm-hmm. And if I'm right, they went on to win the World Series or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, none of that. 162 games, bro. That's too much baseball. And I played baseball all the way up until I got the count. I played baseball, love it. I got Yankees jerseys all in the closet. Yeah. Love baseball. That's too much baseball.
But see, that's the thing. 60 games turns the baseball season from a 6-month marathon into a 2-month sprint. And
them first 4 weeks are so crucial.
Hey, I you know what I'm interested in? I'm interested to see a pitcher come out game 1, give up 2 dingers, and get pulled in the 3rd inning. That's what I'm.
The third, you might get pulled in the first. Hey. You might get pulled in the first. Look, baseball would benefit from a shorter season. I think what we're getting right here is a test run.
Yeah,
we get a test run to see whether or not baseball needs to be a shorter season or longer. Because there's nothing like postseason baseball. We all know that.
No, absolutely.
Nothing. But man, the 4 months, 5 months are just
okay. Like right now, man, them games be half empty. Don't nobody care.
No.
It's Thursday. It'd be the only thing on TV.
Only thing you got in the dry summer, this is the dead season. You know me, we went to a game. We just said, ain't nothing to do. Let's go to a game just cause. I was here. It wasn't neither one of my teams. We just went just to go. Astros and Jays, I think. Just cause. Why this game don't matter?
Yeah.
No. I want games to matter. I want games to be, and I think this is what we're going to see here. Now, but to answer your original question, and sorry it took me so long to get there. I think we're going to have same thing. No fans.
Mm-hmm.
No fans for a fact.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a very limited thing. I don't know if they do the dugout or how they're going to do it. I'm assuming based on the other sports, everybody's team is always together. You look at the boxing, all the coaches and everything are together. You look at basketball, TBT, they're all together. So I'm assuming we get the dugout, but it's going to be constant testing, constant, making sure everybody's good. Don't leave. I don't know how to, because I don't think it's going to be a bubble, so I don't know how they're going to do that situation. So, the testing is probably going to be even more than what it is in the other sports because, hey, okay, where did you go last night? Oh, you want to test. I don't know. I don't think anybody truly knows yet. I don't think it's really public record about how it's going to happen because even though a lot of baseball players are saying, hey, I need to see more about the safety precautions before I can say yes or no whether or not I'm playing.
Because it's looking like it's kind of going to be a thing of you look overseas to like the Bundesliga, Premier League and stuff where they're going to each other's stadiums, but like you said, there's no fans and all that stuff. So so you really have that added X factor of travel because even though you're only traveling to certain cities,
right?
You still have to travel. You still have to go around, and you still have to go from Houston to Arlington to Phoenix, out to San Diego, up to LA and stuff, up to Seattle. There's so much travel that's going to happen, and that's just, the teams in the West. You got the teams in the East. You got the teams in the Centrals doing whatever they got to do. There's that added element of travel that at the very least the NBA can say, okay, we're here. At the very least, NHL can say, okay, we have our two cities, and then one team will have to travel to the other hub city for the Stanley Cup Finals. Football and baseball.
And it's interesting because, again, you take somebody like – we're going to take our own personal team. I'm a Yankees fan, you're a Rangers fan. And now the rates in Texas are sky high.
Yeah.
Sky high.
Yeah.
So if they come to play the Yankees because they're both in the AL, what happens there? What if whoever, or the Astros, let's say Altuve, you know what I mean? Don't pop hot, but he has it.
Yeah.
Now Aaron Judge has it. Now, and that's just overall with all these sports, bro. And it's hard to say anything because you look at Europe, right? And so you look at the English Premier League. They're playing every day, and it seems to be working.
Yeah.
And that gives me hope for football because soccer has 11 on the field, so does NFL have 11. You know what I mean? So that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But it still scares me. It still does. I can't sit here and act like it doesn't. It still does. I don't care what sport it is.
And I think we do have to make sure we're looking at the reality of it and say we can't wait till it gets to 0 cases because if we're waiting 20, 30, 40 years. That's not going to happen. But the good news is hopefully within the next 6 months, a year, however long, at the very least, and there's ways to treat this thing. We still don't know how to treat this thing. We're still learning things about this. So like I said, I want my sports as much as the next person. I want my players to also be safe to be able to play not just this year, but next year and the year after and the year.
Yeah, I don't want to see Aaron Judge down for the next 2 years.
No, not at all. Not at all. And
we don't have to pay him then, but I'd rather pay him than him be sick.
And we also have to understand that things are going to be different not only this season, but it's going to affect next season, and things really aren't going to be back to any sense of normalcy until like 2022.
Right.
And those season starts. Once we get there, we might be back to normal. But as far as the next 18 months at the very least, it's gonna be different. So and I'll be honest, I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see how I'm interested. I'm intrigued to see how it's gonna end up. I'm interested to see how the bubble's gonna work in basketball and in hockey for that matter. I'm interested to see how it's gonna look with the MLB playing with no fans. Because the only time I can remember a game with no fans was out there in Baltimore back in, I think it was 2014.
Right.
They had a one game without fans, and they showed that clip somebody hit a home run, and it was just dead silence. Like it was.
Right. Exactly.
I'm interested. I'm ready to see it. And like I said, like we both said, I hope it works out. I want to see it work out. I hope everybody can stay safe. And if they can do that, let's go. And I'll say all this. Whenever it starts, I'm gonna be in front of my TV, ready to go, ready to watch whatever.
Right. Yeah. I'm not missing the game either. But like I said, at the end of the day, I don't know how. Hey, we're gonna see what happens. I mean, no matter what level of sport person you are, whether you got contacts or not, I can Woj, Scepter, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I think that's what it all is. Because again, you look at Manfred, you look at every other commissioner. No one knows how it's gonna play out. Goodell has no idea how he's gonna pull off this season. I don't care what anybody says. Goodell has no idea how
he's waiting to see what everybody else is doing.
He's waiting to see what everybody else. He's just blessed that his season starts later. Now, from what I'm hearing, it's not gonna be a preseason. But right, it didn't be a preseason anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, but I'm just saying, man. I don't know. When it comes to all these sports, I hope they run, hope they play. We all sports fans. I want to bet $10 that the Cowboys don't win more than 8 games either. But we'll see. We'll see.
We'll have a good time, sir. Let's not start that because I don't need.
Oh, my bad. It comes out so naturally. I apologize.
Real quick before we get out, because we're mentioning it, so I know you've seen it. The Ivy League, they came out and said, "All right, we ain't playing nothing until January 1st."
Right.
And that can kind of we saw it in March. That kind of had to trickle down. The Ivy League was the first to really say, "All right, cancel this basketball tournament."
Right, and then everybody else kind of like, "Oh, I might have to do that too."
Ivy League football and SEC football are obviously two totally different things, and the NFL's here. So
right.
It's different. But they seem to be out ahead of these things, and they seem to kind of know what they're talking about, hence them being the Ivy League. I'm not saying we're going to see the trickle down, but I'd be interested, to see how that kind of plays in the minds and thoughts of everybody else. These other commissioners, these other sports, even keeping it in college, maybe the mid-majors, maybe the American or the MAC or the Mountain West. And if that does trickle down or up to, the Big 12 or, the SEC or the ACC, because I feel like, honestly, all it takes is a couple of those group of 5 conferences to say, hey, look, we're not going to even worry about this. We'll worry about it next year. And then all hell's going to break loose. And we might, if we see that, then I think we might be looking at the very least a spring season if we get a season at all.
Right. Well, I'm not against that. I'm not. I mean, again, I'd much rather take the safe route and everybody be healthy and be safe and be whatever. Rates go down, whatever it may be, and then we get football. I don't care, what month it is. If you can hit, you can hit. If you can hit in the fall, you can hit in the spring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If your juke moves work in the fall, they work in the spring. So we can wait if we got to wait. You know what I mean? We didn't get the March Madness tournament anyway, so none of this basketball stuff count anyway. I don't care what nobody – because Houston was winning the championship. Houston was winning the championship this year. I don't care what anybody says. Okay. Hey, they can't argue against me because we didn't see what happened.
Come on, Homer.
We didn't see what happened. So –
but come on, Homer.
Hey, look. I'm going to tell you. Zion was gone. So I'm going to tell you. Anything can happen. I don't know. But my point is, with everything going on, everything got canceled anyway. Mm-hmm. Why rush just for it to get canceled 3 games in?
Yeah, you're right.
So if that requires us starting later, us starting in January, us starting in March, us starting whatever, do it that way. You don't have nothing else to do.
That's right.
Most of y'all not playing. Most schools aren't doing classes anyway. Mm-hmm. They're talking about deporting students because they're not deporting students from other countries. Because we're not having classes. That's not their fault, but if they can do that, then we can wait on everything else.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's just so much more important to me. I think other things matter more than whether or not we get to see so-and-so play football, in college. Again, I love football. I love college football. We was at every game. I love it. Yeah. But more things are important right now. And I'm sure all the nurses and the doctors and everybody else in them can say, look, I don't care how healthy you are, how smart you are, your star running back going to be here in the ICU unit. If things go wrong. And that's just way more important, 100%. Again, hopefully if it dies down, hopefully we can get us a season, everything, even if it's an 8-game season, we only play conference, cool, bet. I'll take it. Cool. Every game matters. We just talk about baseball. And then every game even matter even more. But at the end of the day, man, there's things that are more important than just I want to see one person hit the other person for my own entertainment purposes.
Yeah. Nah. And with that being said, before we get out of here, I have some very sad news that I heard yesterday, and it still hurts my heart because my fantasy football teams will not be the same for the 2020 season. There is no state fair happening this year, and that is such a big deal for me. I've been every year since 2005. I always go for PB Grambling. Man, it hurts. Hey, Des, you don't understand that.
You sound like somebody in your family died, man. Look, the Texas State Fair ain't happening, dog. Look, you're going to have to keep your calories low. That's all it's going to do is keep your calories low. That's all it's going to be, man.
I can fry stuff here. That's not.
What you want, man? You want some fried butter? Some fried bacon? What you want? Fried what? Fried?
It was deep fried street corn and no, it was the cotton candy taco. That was my favorite food that I had at the fair. My brother.
For those that don't know, the Texas State Fair fries everything. You got a Ford Mustang, they'll fry it for you. PlayStation 5, fried everything.
And like, hey man, they'll fry Kool-Aid, they'll fry Coke, they'll fry Snickers, they'll fry anything. And Big Tex is my homie, man. But it's but
well, he was fried one time too. If you don't know, Google it. All right, that's all I'm saying. Big Tex on fire. Just Google it one time. Change your life.
I'm gonna call you something after I hit the stop recording button on this, and you know what's up. But yeah, that just hurt me. But before we get out of here, Des, you got anything to say to the people before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Like I said, bro, I'm just glad to be back on the mic with my brother, man. I just, you, me, and Ted, we have to do something, man. We have to do something one time. I said Cam Newton underpaid. Hey.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Kobe.
Hey, for real.
That's real. Still 2020. Yana, you know what I'm saying? It's all love to the Kobe family. And besides that, man, and like I said, I hope everybody's healthy, man. I want to see all the sports, man. I do, but I think we got to recognize what's more important right now, man. That's huge, and go vote. You know what I'm saying when I say it. Go vote.
Vote, and not for Kanye.
Definitely not for Kanye. Do not vote for Kanye. If you vote for Kanye, do not talk to me. I swear to God.
Hey, look, like you said, I love Kanye. I grew up loving Kanye. Thanks to my
brother. Hey, I was talking about you. This is the most Kanye fan I know. But no. He making an album, I'm down. Vote for president? No.
Absolutely not. Well, appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate you coming through, hopping in on the show while I'm trying to get this thing off the ground. I do appreciate you for real. Check me out. Check out my website. It's mrightreport.com. Check me out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Appreciate you. Much love. God bless you.
All day, baby.